Right, welcome back. I haven't done this for a while. I've tried to keep the videos separate, but I'm going to put a bit of video in, like an update of the A6, what we've been doing. So there's a few jobs that I've been wanting to do, which I've shown you, which I'll go around now. You obviously haven't seen this car since I first got it when it was up the eyes. I've given it a nice wash. It's come up lovely. There's a few bits which we know. This, on old vags, this awful stone chippy stuff. I'm going to just get a Stanley blade and cut it off to the point where it's like kind of coming away, make a neat line and paint this. This is absolutely solid, by the way. It looks a lot worse than what it is. Get that treated with some cure rust, paint it with some black hammerite, and that'll do for that. Like I've already shown you, I've getting some, when I was at a car show the other week of all places, a nice full tin of smooth black 8-year hammerite. So we've got that. There's one little bit at the back I'm just going to touch up. Just going to scrape that back with a screwdriver, put a bit of cure rust on, and I've just got a black touch-up pen, and that's all that needs for now. There was one little bit, I think, somewhere, was there? Where was it? I think it was the door handle on the driver's side. I'll do the same with that. Yeah, this little bit here. Do that. And there's the odd little mark here and there, which I'm going to do. What I have done, like I've mentioned to you, there was a few codes on this car. That was, obviously it's a 6-cylinder, that was 5 glow plugs off. There was only one working, but like I keep reminding you, common rail diesels do not need glow plugs to start. Don't think that like in the olden days, you need the glow plugs to make them start on a cold morning. Direct injection common rail diesels can start without any kind of glow plugs and down to something crazy like minus 20 degrees. The way you know you've got a common rail are these. These are fuel rails. One there, this is a V engine. One there with 3 ports going to 3 electronic injectors. Each injector has got an electronic solenoid which controls fuel injection quantities, etc, etc. So that's that. But still, when they're not working, the set lights off, the set codes off, and they're just annoying. And they do something. What they do is what you call, they do come on before you start it. So basically, they will start, but if you've got what you call a preheat, it will actually help on a cold morning to make it run smoother. And then you've got what you call post-heat, where once the engine's running, the glow plugs continue to burn for about up to 2 minutes to increase cylinder temperatures, making it run smoother, warm up quicker, and reduce NOx emissions. But we all know we're not big emissions fans because half the emissions equipment on these things are just a load of rubbish. But that's that. So I just thought, do you know what it is? It's getting on me wick. It's been like that long enough. Let's just give one of them a try. And they're buried in the engine. There's one there. One's there. It would help if I just got the light, wouldn't it? Let's just get the light. I'll show you. So we've got one there. One down there. The other one is down there. And then we've got the other 3 at this side. Obviously, it's a V6, remember? One there, and the other one's under this unit, which you have to remove to get to it. And I could not believe, I might put a lottery ticket on the night, this car's got 174,000 mile on, nearly 200,000 mile. It's an 06, so it's not far off 20-year-old. And all 6 come out without a bother. The only issue I had was 2 of those little rubber sleeves which connect to the glow plugs ripped apart a bit, but it's got a connection. There's no fault codes coming up now. And just to show you, that's all 6 there, glow plugs. You wouldn't think they've done almost 200,000 miles. And if I can just zoom in, it just to show you, I don't know if it will or not. Can you see on there, Baru, Germany? And then next to it, you've got the bottom there, VWAG, just at the bottom. So they all say the same. And obviously, as I've shown you, I only deal with dealer equipment. So, Baru. And on here. So if you want to go and buy these from VW, Audi, whoever. See there, just at the top, Baru. No, still not cheap. Still cost us almost, I think, nearly 70 quid, 60, 70 quid, something like that for the 6. But I just thought, that's 5 off. Why waste my time doing 5? Because the other one will not be far behind. And my dad did like an old school test with the old lamp, which I was going to show you, with an old battery, a lamp. You put it on and it goes to prove it does work, because if you try them with a multimeter, sometimes They can show that they're working when they're not. And funny enough, out of the 6, a working glow plug should light the bulb on the lamp when you're putting it through the circuit of a battery. And there was, I think, 3 or 4 of them completely dead, nothing. One of them, though, heated up, but it would not set the light up off on the lamp. So obviously there's all sorts going on with them. These are quite technical, these newer cars. So I just thought, sod it, change all 6, job done. Now, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, it fires up the same as it did, because like I've said, glow plugs don't matter on common rail diesels. Without a DPF, remember that this is 06 plate, this car just has a cat, doesn't have a DPF. With DPFs, it's a whole different story, because they don't need it to start either, but what they do need it for is when the car's doing a regeneration of the DPF, all the glow plugs come on, and that heats up the cylinder temperatures to help the regen. So it's very important, actually, on diesels with a DPF. If your glow plugs aren't working, they won't actually do a regen, and you'll block your DPF and cause problems. So they are actually super important on the DPF vehicles. So that's that. Got them done. Happy days. So we had all the codes on. Remember, we had 5 fault codes. I wanted to crack on. I'm not funny. We had thunderstorms, everything. I wanted to get sorted. It's coming up 6 now, and I've done the stuff that I wanted to do under the bonnet. And we did genuinely have, I just don't know if I can go back on this. If it records, it used to record vehicle data. Let's see if it has. It probably won't. It'll have recorded the last, the history. Let's have a look. History. Audi, yeah, you see fault. Hold on, did I do it the other day? Let's have a look. Yeah, it sometimes records them. Did I? I didn't. I don't. What's that one? No, I didn't, unfortunately. So anyways, what it was, I had, how many codes did I have? I had 5 glow plugs off, 2 swirl flap actuators off, which has been on for a long time, but I'll show you, I'll get to that in a second, and it's got an electronic engine mount on it, which one of them's defective, but we'll get to that. So what I'll show you is basically, this car's had an engine management light on for years and years and years. And like I mentioned, remember, for the MOT, diesel cars up to 08 are not a fail. The engine light can be on and it's pass and advise. So with this being an 06, it passes every year. Before anybody says, oh, well, how does it pass an MOT? Well, that's how. Because it's an 06, engine management light is not part of the test for this vehicle. So that's that bit. So went on, obviously I've done the glow plugs, they're gone. So then I was left with the 2, with basically swirl flap actuators and the engine management and the engine mount fault. So I've already mentioned to you about these faults on these. They've got in what you've got your swirl flaps, which I'll show you where they are and what they do. So these 2 units here, this one and this one, they've got a little rod, which you can see down there, and that little rod goes to the inlet manifolds and opens basically a little butterfly flap like this. So it's open and closed, just like a throttle body, like that. And at different revs, they're what you call swirl flaps. It basically induces a flow, a swirl of airflow in, which basically, it's a load of crap. It's for emissions, and it's supposed to have smoother power delivery. I've had these removed on a lot of vehicles, and they make no difference. But these 2 actuators here, the little arm on them, see that arm there? That arm pops down when you start it up, and then at different revs it pops up and down, and it opens and closes the swirl flaps. You may be able to see the one at the other side a little bit better. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you can see that little arm, and that little unit there just pops up and pops down. Let's just see, I'll switch the ignition on. So remember where that is there now, at the bottom. I'm not going to start it up because it's too noisy to speak over, but I think when you switch the ignition on, it just pops up. Let's have a look. Now so you've got to start them up basically. That one's the same over there. So once you start it up, they'll actuate. To be honest, I don't want it started because 2 seconds. And I've got fault codes on the dash as well for something I'm going to show you what I'm doing now. So, anyways, that's what these are. Anyways, so what happens is, in these, there's little gears in them, which operate this little arm, which goes up and down, as and when, thousands and millions of times over the car's life. And what happens is, this arm here goes too far down or too far up. So just imagine that its limit is here, its highest limit and its lowest limit is there. What's happening is it's going past its limits because the little gears in here get worn. So if it's only meant to go to touch this, it's going like to there, too far past it, and that triggers a light letting you know that the tolerances, it's going either past its maximum or past its minimum. So the only option, which I told Simon for years, he owned this car, I said they're like 500 quid each. Well, they were back in the day. I don't know if somebody's changed it now, but these were 500 quid each, and they just weren't worth the hassle. Because it doesn't affect how it runs, just got an annoying light on the dash. It could bring a little bit of hesitation now and again, but very, very minor. So, you'll be wondering what these shiny things are on them. I was going to show fitting them, but to be quite honest, I hadn't done it before, and I didn't really know 100% what I was doing. So, some ingenious company have invented these, which basically go around the shroud of them. So, now that arm there is touching, the light's going to go flat, that's why it's flashing. It's going up to this point of this little bracket, so now it comes up and it touches the bracket, so it doesn't allow it to come too far up past its maximum threshold, causing a light. So you adjust this little screw on it, and that makes it go further down or further up to the point you don't get your engine management light on. This one at the other side is slightly different because it's in a different angle, but the same kind of concept applies with this bracket that goes down and around it, and as you can see now at the bottom there, it's touching the bottom, so it's not going too far down, and when it reaches the top, I think you can get another kind of bracket which come to the top here for the upper and lower limits. So we'll see. I don't know, I've started up and now the lights haven't come on. I'm not 100% sure this is a definite fix because they both go to different angles, so I'm a little bit confused what's upper and what's lower, because if you notice, this one's right at the top and that one's at the bottom. So it's a bit confusing on them. So, but I've fitted them as best to my knowledge that I know how to. It's just going to have to be a matter of waiting and seeing what happens after a few miles. So I've done them anyways. Another thing I've done, like I mentioned, the day I bought this car, unfortunately for the guy, he had just had it serviced. And then he seen the Astra and he wanted the Astra, and I took this one off him. But I'd just done an oil change on it, so the oil's brand new in it, and it's had I think he got this car, it's 70,000, 80,000 mile or something. It's now got 170 odd, and he's had the oil changed every 5,000 mile, and it takes nearly 8, 9, 10 litres or something, so that's good. But what he hadn't had done, because not long ago it had a fuel filter, because this unit knacked up on top of it, so that doesn't need done. The oil obviously doesn't need done, but the air filter, I look back and it was touching about 15,000 mile, 20,000 miles since it had been done. Wasn't that bad, it's just here, I'll just show you before I bin it. As you can see, it was getting a bit rough, you know. I wouldn't say it by any means bad, but with these you get all little seals. There's another seal in there, you get the silicone stuff to put on them, and to be quite honest, they're an absolute pig to change these. Just a total unnecessary nightmare for no reason. So done the air filter on it, oil and filter was done. Obviously that isn't really a great deal more. The glow plugs, the pollen filter I'm going to do, that's it there, but it's inside the car. That'll be getting done tomorrow. What else was there? Oh yeah, the most obvious thing. These headlights. Can you remember on the video just the other day? They were all cloudy and smoky. I got the proper drill onto it. I used all the cutting compounds. I've never done it with the drill before, because I was usually too scared in case of flipping. You know, when you grind them down onto the with the sandpaper on an electric drill, it is a pretty terrifying experience, so, to be quite honest with you. So obviously they have come up absolutely fantastic now. Really happy with them. What else we're doing? Right, I'll show you what I'm doing here. So, you might wonder, this front grille I showed you when I was at his house, he said he wasn't sure what he had hit or nudged. And I looked at it and I thought, you've certainly give something a bit of a hit, because that's what it should be like. And then your spot lamp, obviously. And it's in the boot here, I'll just show you. I'll have to have a word with Simon when I see him. He certainly give it more than a whack, because I haven't done this. It was just in pieces, and all the brackets of the lamp that was just hanging on in there. Unfortunately, it works okay, but the brackets have snapped off. So I can get a third party pattern part one of these for about 30 quid. But I have seen a genuine one on eBay second hand for 20 quid, but he wants a tenner postage, which I think's a bit excessive, so I might offer him 20 quid if he'll post it. If not, I'll just get the third party one brand new. This grill though, to my surprise, is £28 from Audi, genuine part. So for 28 quid, I'm just going to do it. I was tempted just to leave it off, but I'll show you why. Because there's quite a lot of governs behind this. So naturally, back to the engine, it's a V6. It's only a single turbo, great big turbo at that. But with it being a V, it's got two intercoolers. So you've got your right-hand V intercooler down there, and your left-hand V intercooler down there. And you'll be wondering what all this mess is. So, what's been happening is, like, totally normal for this, there's nothing wrong with it, is it gets a bit of a misting of oil and loads of leaves get in because they come in through these ducts here and into the intercooler. Now, I've cleaned this one. I've been on ages cleaning it and all this crap's come out of it. I've had to remove the fog light, this, to get in. But it's a great big unit. I don't know if I can show you. It goes right up there and right down to the bottom. And it's much the same at this side, but stupidly, I've been on with the air, blasting it. And I'm really not showing you how it was, which I wish I had of, but you can just see how much stuff's in there. I'll just see if I can leave the light like that. I don't know if you can just see how much stuff, crap, is in here. It's unbelievable. But those fins, I've already been on with the airline on them. They were completely blocked. I mean, let's have a look, see if I can get the light in there. Don't know if you can see at the top, but those fins, see the pieces which are solid metal, where the air goes through and then you've got your fins. Those fins on both sides were completely blocked. Can you see where the stuff's gone across? Like the dust's just collected. You can just see a bit here. Let's see if I can get me fingers in and move some of this. In fact, even better, I'll just get the screwdriver just to prod a little bit out, just so you can see what I'm kind of talking about. Like there, I'll just pause it actually. I'll tell you, I'll pause it. Right, there we go. See that there, how the fins are completely blocked with soil, dust, everything. There, the whole thing was like that. At the other side and at this side. So no air whatsoever was getting through the intercoolers. I've said the only way you can do it is to get the high pressure air. I've been spraying engine degrees that has kind of softened it up and get it all out. So yeah, I did spot that the other day. So that'll have been doing things the world of bad because there'll be no airflow going through either of those intercoolers, meaning the engine is basically running with no intercoolers, which you need. You need dense air to make a diesel engine, the turbocharger, work effectively. So that's a good thing. Job done with that. There's been a few other bits and bobs I've been on with. I'm just trying to think while I'm on here because I want to get these sorted. So yeah, getting that side cleared out, pointing with the camera. So this side's going to get left. I'm just going to leave the fog light out. That piece of grill's going to take a week to come. I'm pleased I did actually, because if I'd braked hard, that fog light would have probably come out and could have hit somebody. So it's a good job. This side's just going to go back together. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just going to give it a final clean, put everything back together. But that one will have to wait. Yes, I know it's another 60 quid I'm having to spend. That was a 60 quid I'm having to spend. But I want to keep this right. Like I've mentioned, if you watch my weekly vlog, which I don't know which one will go out first, I really like this car, and I'm probably just going to keep it over the winter. I might even let the Jeep go. So if anybody's interested in the Jeep, let us know. You know, I really do like the way how this car drives. It is not great, the fact it's a saloon car, but it's probably one of the biggest boots I've ever had on a car. I can't believe how big it is. So yeah, I've got a few other things coming for it. Updated sat nav disc, I'll add that into the video. I've got, what have I got? Yes, that's what it is, the power steering. It's just a tiny bit low actually, but when they're a tiny bit low, they don't have to make a noise. So I got some genuine Audi fluid for it. Only like 10-15 quid on eBay. I can't believe how cheap that was. Topped it up, it's been great. But what I am going to do, which I had somewhere, I don't know where I've put it, it's over here. I'm going to draw the fluid out, what's in there, the dirty stuff. And I've got this. Yeah, a lot of you will say, don't use this, magic potions. I've used this before and it does actually work. Never had a problem. So naturally, if it is coming out a little bit, there's definitely no puddles of oil, but there must be just a little weep somewhere. So I'm going to drain that reservoir off, put this in, and then top it up to the right level with nice fresh fluid. And that'll do for now for the power steering, because the guy who had it's been doing stupid amount of miles and it was never an issue for him. So that's that. We've got in here, which I'll just lift down. I've showed you the paint. That grease, I'm just going to spray a little bit underneath. It's not getting no special VIP treatment. Oh yeah, the jumping out of second gear. I did mention that this, didn't I? That when I'm driving, occasionally it'll drop, it'll pop itself out of second gear. And I thought that's just something the matter with the gearbox. Yeah, I must be getting knackered or something. But I've done quite a few miles in it over the weekend. And if you've got it in second and you're in a straight line, you can floor it and then let off the power. And fine. Or just coast. Do anything you want and it will never, ever, ever jump out of second gear. But if you go around a corner, left or right, it'll pop out of second. It's slow speeds. But that's going back to that code, if you remember, with the electronic engine mount. Now, what I think it is, that engine mount's knackered. And when you're going around a left or a right-hand bend at low speeds, them engine mounts are meant to firm up to keep the engine level. And with these, the gear stick goes directly into the gearbox, like in old school. Like these engines, if you notice, are in longitude, even though this isn't a quattro, it's just front-wheel drive. Like the engine should really be in that way on. So they're set up like a rear-wheel drive car. So the gear stick is actually a direct link into the gearbox. So what's happening, I think, when you're going around a corner, the engine's leaning too far and it's actually catching, I'm going to have a look underneath, catching something. It can't possibly be something mechanical in a gearbox that only pops out when you go around a corner. That doesn't make sense. Like everything in there is spinning. It would be popping out all the time, every time. So with that, it's once you're used to it, it's not an issue. I may change this electronic engine mount. I may have a look at it. I might price it up. It'll probably be expensive. Not bad to do, I don't think, because they sit at the bottom of the engine. They're like the Volvos. They're just like little capsules with a sensor. And like I said, it just detects the car turning left and right, and it'll firm it up as and when it needs to. So with that, I'm not fussed. So now, what I've done is, just as a precaution, is I've got the correct oil for it, which is a 7590, but it's the proper VAG spec. And again, you're getting on about these treatments, but it's got nearly 200,000 mile on, so just remember that. I got these. They're only like 5 or 6 quid. The proper HPLS, and I have used this before. It's not the fact that it needs to be a stop leak, it's a transmission treatment. Basically, it says on the back somewhere, it does all sorts. It helps the gears, this, that, and the other. I'm going to bang that in, change the fluid. It ain't going to do no harm to it, because it needs it, and it's something good towards the service history. So I've done the glow plugs, it's had a full service once the pollen filter's done, air filter, oil, the fuel filter, it's fine, like I've said. It's good to have had all the power steering system sorted, the little bits painted. Happy days, it's going to be a cracking car now. So yeah, I'm just going to get on now, put this back together, clean this side out, and yeah, I think that's about it. I was going to go through a few other things, but that's what it was. Years ago, it had some serious problems with water getting into the fuse box, but I opened it all up, drilled some holes in, so if water ever did get in, it can drain out. I'm just going to retake all this off and reseal everything that I sealed a few years ago, just so I know that doesn't happen again. It isn't showing any signs, touch wood, but just in case it does. And the only other real thing that's broken when I come in the other day, which I said, is the air conditioning used to be beautiful on this car, but something's gone on down here. Somewhere around this flipping damaged area as well. I think there's been a pipe snapped or something. Something's gone on down there. I want to have a look on the lift because I'm a little bit suspicious, because that's where the leak was from the air con. This is this damage, and as I've showed you, it's not had a hard hit, but it's had quite a knockdown there, which I'm a bit concerned about. Nothing's leaking out as such, but you know. So what I'll do is I'll leave this video open-ended. And when it's on the lift, when I've done a few things on there, I've got a list of things I want to do. When the sat-nav disc comes, I'll just add to it, and then I'll get it uploaded, because I haven't even done the reveal video yet, so we'll have to wait until I've revealed it before I can put some work, like videos through from the work. But I'll do a few miles, on these little plates I've put on these actuators, then I'm going to do a separate video on them and upload it as a separate video, because this is a common fault, and for the sake of less than 30 quid, people can save themselves a lot of money. So I'll come back to you once I've done a few more jobs to it. Bit of an update on the A6. Pollen filter's been done. I just wanted to show you how much in depth changing pollen filters, especially on these big complex cars, like cars with 4-way climate control and all that. These are, you know, like the miles this guy was doing, it's been quite a while, but what I keep reminding people in their servicing is sometimes just to change a pollen filter, there's as much labour involved as doing most oil changes. So really, I leave the pollen filters to customer's discretion, as in, like, you know, like the engine's the important thing. Yes, if you have severely blocked pollen filters, you can blow your heater motors up and etc, etc. But it's really down to customers to say, because dealerships are always going on about wanting to do them every year. But when you see what's involved with this, to be doing something like this every year is just crazy. And that's your manufacturers to thank. Obviously, you've got to take the side part of the dash off. You have to remove the whole glove box. And let me just tell you, the glove box in this car is the heaviest and most complex glove box I think I've ever seen. First up, these glove boxes don't have a handle. You use this switch on the dash, which is electronic, which actually opens this solenoid, which opens the glove box. Totally unnecessary, but that's the thing that they tried to impress with. It's got a big disc changer unit in it with about 3 plugs that need to go in somewhere down here, which you have to unplug. You've got this big multi-plug here, which goes into here, because there's obviously the glove box light, there's the glove box solenoid, there's another light down here, which is like an LED footwell light that comes on. I've just never seen anything as complex or heavy or awkward to do. And then up into there, that's your pollen filter right in the back corner in there. And it's 2 units like I've shown you. And obviously all the statitis and everything that comes out of it goes all over your mat. So I've had to get the hoover in to do it. So it's a pretty big job. And now it's that heavy and awkward to get in with just 4 bolts. You need another pair of hands once you've got it plugged in to get it up into place and get all of the screws in. But I've had one slight problem, I think, here. Oh no, it should be okay, because I've just realised I've had to shut the glove box to remove it. But I can't open it because it's electronic. But I'm just thinking if I just plug in the harness and press that button, it'll open it to allow us to get these ones in. But yeah, just so you know what's involved with doing a pollen filter. What I have got, which I'll come back to you, I'll show you when it's all back into place, is this has arrived. The new up-to-date 2022, it's just a copy, Audi disc, but it's a custom-made one, because naturally Audi don't make discs for these 2G systems anymore. So luckily there's people out there who've designed their own. Obviously they'll have copied a map from, I'm not going to name names, from different companies who we all know, which are regularly used for our sat-navs. They've obviously done some kind of a copy of their map and made a custom map themselves. And means basically a 2006 car like this, the sat-nav that's in it, it'll probably be absolutely useless, because even just local roads around here won't even be on there. For example, the Morpeth bypass, countless other roads. So luckily this, which should be, is up to date as it can be for using, for how often I'll use it. But the unit's in the boot. I'll come back to you when I do this, because I'm not even sure myself. You've got to put it in, go through some options on the MMI system, upload it. But we'll come to that once we've got this fit. I just want to show you that I've got the nice new pollen filters in it. Happy days. Right, on to the final part of doing the A6. The final part of part 1, at least. I will get round to doing a part 2. So, the glove box is back in. I must admit, that was one of my least favourite ones to do, just totally unnecessary. So that's done, but I'm pleased it is done, because it was quite getting blocked up. But as I know, the air conditioning on this car a few weeks ago stopped working, which is a shame. But in the next few weeks possibly, we won't be getting no more nice weather. So it'll be back to heating, not air conditioning we need. So that's done, pleased about that. While I was on, I've took the hoover around in that area and around the rest of the car, just to tidy it up a bit. The only bit I haven't done is the driver's door, because I can't get it open. So I've got the hoover left out over there to do that when I move the car. Under the bonnet, what have I done under here? Obviously, I put the engine cover back on. We'll see how those to actuator repairs work. We'll just have to see. I need to give it a drive first. If it isn't, it's just a case of adjusting the little screws. Like I mentioned years ago, this car had a serious issue where water got into the main fuse box. So what I did was originally dried it all out, cleaned everything up, drilled holes in the bottom of the fuse box. So if anything did get in, it doesn't fill up. I've cleaned the drains out, re-sealed around the top, and also I've just put like a little like bag just on top, just to help not, you know, cause any too much problems, at least anyway, with water. It just gives that extra little bit of defence. The power steering, like I've said, I've topped that up and put the leak sealer in. There isn't really a big leak, but it does go down over many, many thousands of miles. Just put that in, just in case there's a whipping pipe somewhere. Got all this stripped out, as you've seen. I'm just waiting to get it from Audi. I think it's about 30 quid for the grill, which is smashed to pieces, and the light, like I showed you, was broken as well. I think I'm getting aftermarket one of them for about 30 quid brand new. Because second-hand ones, people are wanting £30 and £40, and I'm not paying that. It'll do just to tidy it up down there. So that's that. I'm trying to think what else I've done today under here. We obviously have cleaned out all the scuttle while I had it off. And out the back, oh, that's what I did. I just repolished that with some black dye, because when you put anything white on it, like white polish, it does look a bit nasty. But I'm not bothered. That's just the nature of the car. That's what I've done. Took the spare out. Because years ago, this battery had a bit of a leak and it made the boot floor. You could just see where it had damaged the paint and everything. So I've just scraped it back, hoovered it out, given it a quick spray with some black spray paint. It ain't no work of art, it never gets seen. I put some cure rust on this area, in this area, and then painted it just as a bit of prevention work. And while it was out, obviously I've hoovered the boot tray, the liner, got them out. So I was waiting for that paint to dry. Got the wheel there, I've checked the pressure. I've also, while I had the cure rust out, put some cure rust on this, and I've just given it one coat of touch-up paint. There will be another few coats to go on there. It doesn't look perfect when you're zoomed up from a distance. It's champion. Just it creates that bit more protection, as well as the bit under here, which I'm going to do a bit more as well. But once you polish around here and stuff, it's good enough. It's just prevention work, as we know. So what we're going to get into doing now, which I'm going to record to show you how to do, is while I've got all the stuff out the boot, is do the sat-nav update. Like I've showed you, I've got the disc here. If anybody's interested in this, give us a message, or I'll put the link in the description of it. Like I say, it's a custom-made maps 2022 edition. What I'm going to do first is just go on and show you what it all looks like before I actually do anything updating-wise. So we'll go in the car, we'll switch on the sat-nav, and we'll just have a little look of what it says and what it does, because to be quite honest, I ain't really used it too much, so you just have to bear with us. Right, so here we are with the map. You can see, I can't really show you in depth, but what I do know at Morpeth here, there was a new bypass built to the A1. That's not even there. So we'll see when we get the new one on, but that's the general layout of it. Now, what we're going to have to do is first up, the car's saying that it's in an eco mode. So I just hope it's going to start up now, so we'll give it a try. Just gonna have to leave this on charge tonight. So there it's running now. As you'll note, the engine management light is off due to doing that. I think I showed you this last night. It is coming up as a bulb fault naturally, because the whole fog lamp unit you've seen at the bottom is off, so forget about that. So now this is up and running and on, we're just going to go back to something like radio. So we're off the sat nav and we're going to go around to the back of the car. Unfortunately, I have to have it running. I didn't want to have to have it running, but needs must. So, what we'll do is we'll eject this disc. I'm not sure how many times you've got to press it or what you've got to do, but there we go. So there's the original Audi, version 2006. Yes, this is a copy. Yes, I've done research about them damaging the readers and stuff, but these have got quite good reviews. Excuse me, I'm just going to have to try and do this with one hand. Just bear with us. So here we go, we'll just pop it in. There we go, takes it in. We'll go into the car and see what's going on. Oh, right, shut the door. Press nav. and see what happens. It says please insert. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to actually stop the car and then restart it just to get this to work. Oh, here we go. There we go. Update navigation. New navigation software is available. Press yes to install. It's already uninstalled. Just press this. And there we go. I'm clearly not going to sit here and watch a percentage go up, so I'll come back to you when we're near the end. So obviously it's been through saying it's running languages, loading the TMC, local area, 89, there we go, 100%. Update is complete. Return causes a restart, so we'll press return to restart it. And then obviously now it'll just do it some kind of restart on itself. So we'll just have to wait. The screen's coming back on, there we go. Just while we're waiting for this, I don't know if the camera picks that up, but that brushed stainless steel wrapping right around you really is a good, nice quality interior, this, I have to say. So there we go, there's the maps. Now we'll go to map. Oh, that immediately you can see that's better because it's got all of the eating places and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll go to, I don't even know how to use this system there. We'll zoom out like we did before. You see now, when you zoom in a little bit more, it shows you all of the shops, petrol stations, parking areas, which is great. But what I do want to do is zoom out a bit and just see like what we looked at before with Morpeth. And there you go, you see. That's the bypass that was built, that wasn't on the other one, which takes you straight to there. So it's everything naturally is up to date as it can be, which is great. So there we go. That, if anybody's interested in that, this isn't just for the Audi system. I've dealt with this guy from the with these discs for other vehicles. But anybody's interested in that, just let us know, and I'll kind of be, I'll happily send you the link to it. So that's done. So what I'll do is, guys, today, that's it. Obviously, you've seen I've done what I've done at the back. I'm going to stick the spare wheel back in, put the carpets back in. I've showed you what I've showed you. I'm going to paint the bottoms of them sills, spray a bit of protection underneath. I'm going to do the MOT. I think it can be done any time after 20-something for this month, September, because it's not due till October, and it adds you on the full extra month, so you get like 13-month MOT. And I've got this ready, which I'll record. That's my VC, that's my laptop. It blends in with the seat, the proper dealer equipment VCDS. So what I'm going to try and do is get the digital speedo up on here. Don't know if it'll work or not, and a few other hidden little features like alarm peeping. I don't know, there's hidden menus and stuff you can get on them. So we'll go from there. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry it's been a bit in and out. I'm just trying to fit as much in as I can. I'm also, remember, trying to get this car ready to go for the safari. I know you'll be bored of hearing that, but genuinely, we need to get this booked and we need to get cracking on. So that's why I'm kind of doing more work than showing what I'm doing. So I'll catch you on another A6 part 2 video, because I am going to do quite a bit on this. I'm tempted, let us know your thoughts. What they're calling it, hyper coatings, which we've got the wheels done on the Jeep. Thinking about getting the wheels done on this. Not in a chavvy black, definitely not. I'm tempted not even to go along the lines of gunmetal grey, because I hate the look of these Audis when they're chavvy. Awful. When the grill's all, they've got the number plate in the dashboard, they've took all the chrome off and turned it black. Oh, it looks awful. And what I most certainly don't want to have is chavvy wheels. So I'm tempted to get the wheels, because they're lovely wheels, redone in standard Audi silver. Let us know your thoughts on that, and I'll catch you on another video. Please, if you've enjoyed this, hit the like. If there's anything you want to say, leave a comment. That's what this is all about. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.